I know that you recently actually won an award for your photo of Mount Everest.
Yeah.
See, when you're waiting for those, because actually explain how you got the photo first, because people won't understand how you've actually got the photo, because you need to wait for a long time, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, so that photo there, that was, so I'd been trekking, I think 24 days trekking alone in Nepal for that. So I was,
Oh my God.
on my Todd, literally just lugging my camera gear, my bag all up into the Himalayas. I started in the foothills, quite low down from a town called Jiri, then hiked up, did the 3 passes trek, and then up to Everest Base Camp. But
The 3 passes trek, is that where the avalanche hit a very long time ago?
that was down at Everest Base Camp where that came down. If I remember, don't quote me, I'm not sure. I think it was Everest Base Camp where that big.
It probably was a bit higher up then, because it must have been.
I mean, the high passes are higher than Base Camp itself, but it was the valley where it would have come down the valley, I think.
Right.
Again,
okay.
don't quote me on that. I think it was Everest Base Camp.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was hiking in that area, and yeah, what ended up being like one of the kind of pinnacle moments. It was there's an amazing viewpoint called Kalapatar, which is kind of near Everest Base Camp, but like up on one of the hills, and you've got this like incredible vista of like the full valley below. You got Everest, and you got all the mountains around it. You got Lhotse, Nuptse, all that stuff. It took me like 4 hours. So I sat there alone on this little viewpoint, like freezing, with my camera out because I was doing a time blend. So what I was doing was capturing the foreground element of the picture. Because I didn't want the high noise ISO, high ISO noisy thingy for the stars, right? So I wanted to capture, for better preservation of details, I was using a blended image. So blue hour for the foreground, so just after the sun has set and you've got a nice ambient light on the foreground, and then waiting for like hours for the stars to come out and shooting the sky separately. So literally in the same place, camera waiting there to shoot the sky separately and then blending it together in post. So it took me 4 hours just alone on this viewpoint after obviously trekking on this middle of this massive trek alone in the Himalayas. Then I was sitting there. I mean, I did it a few nights in a row. I was doing different viewpoints in the same kind of technique.
Different compositions, different
places. But that ended up being like the one that won the award. And that was kind of like the big pinnacle shot of the whole trip.
Was it the pinnacle to you, or was it just the pinnacle because that one won the award?
No, for me, it was like the personal high point of the trip. It was it was just like the moment where I got that like crazy view of all the highest peaks, in the world, and it was amazing moment.
Is that your favorite photo that you've ever taken?
It might be, recently I've started describing it as being my favorite photo I've taken after that trip. Yeah, I did tell quite a few people I think it was my favorite picture I've taken.
Wow.
But I've got lots of different pictures I like for different reasons. But that one, I think because of the journey that went into it, because it was just like such an epic trip, just being alone in those mountains for that amount of time. And I did it during December as well. So it was like there was no one.
What temperature was it?
Really cold at night.
You want to say Everest.
Minus quite a lot. It was, the daytime was fine. So it's like really clear days. In those months, it's like you get these like blue skies, like totally blue. So when the sun's out, it's quite nice in the daytime. But the moment that sun goes, the temperature plummets. And it was well into the minus 15, minus 20, maybe, I don't know. But everything was freezing. Every lodge that I stayed in, it's like all the water would freeze. It's like you go to the toilet, you've got to break the water to get through, and like my water bottle, everything's freezing in the water bottle. Every morning I wake up, I've got to defrost my water to drink anything. It's cold.
Yeah. And is that your favorite shot for now? Like, do you think that will change? Because normally, I don't know if you found the same thing, but with me, I'll have a favorite shot and then I quickly hate it. And then I move on to something different.
Yeah.
And that's just the journey of trying to find new things.
It happens,
now I want a photo of X, and now I want a photo of Y, and now I don't like that photo anymore because I didn't use the right lens, or their shutter speed was slightly off.
Yeah, and you see all these little imperfections in the photo that you'd wish you'd done before, but
exactly.
You didn't. But all those pictures are just part of the process, man. It's all part of your journey as a photographer, and you look back now and you see those imperfections that you wouldn't do these days. But I think you got to embrace it as being like, this was how I was. And I wouldn't do it now, but it's an important part. I think you've got to have a bit of love for your photos, even if you do see the imperfections. But to answer your question, is I do find that I do that sometimes. Like I have pictures which I photograph and I love for a long time, then I turn around and I kind of like I do hate them at some point. I don't think that's gonna be one of them. I do have pictures as well that have always remained pictures that I absolutely love.
Cool. So they're the ones that can consistently show up.
Yeah,
Right.
as being my favorites, and that one is going to stay in there. Like I don't see that dropping out of being that, unless one day I wake up and look at it and go, not sure anymore. I doubt that's going to happen though.
Is the humpback whale one as well? Because
yeah, that's up there too.
For anyone that doesn't know, you have this is one of the photos that you know I remember sharing, you know, when we first met 4 or 5 years ago. But it's this humpback whale breaching out the water, and it's a stunning photo, and you've nailed it.
Yeah.
And like to me, that is one of those bucket list photos that you just can't. Like that is the photo you're never going to beat. You can't beat that. How could you?
That's a cool shot. I am so proud of that one. So I took that my very first time going to Antarctica, which was like super special. You know, going to Antarctica, one, because like breaching behavior isn't as common in the polar regions. They're not. I mean, if you go to the tropics and view humpback whales, they're really active. They're really playful because that's where they go to breed. So you'll find the humpbacks are really like breaching a lot. They're very, you know, very interactive. They tend not to be quite so interactive or playful in the polar regions because that's where they're feeding. They come down to feed on all the vast quantities of krill that you have. Okay. So you do get breaching. Don't get me wrong, you get enough breaching. I usually see it each season I work down in Antarctica. But it's a special thing to see there. So for me, first time going to Antarctica, getting the dream bucket shot of a humpback full body breaching out the water. I mean, it's like, just the tails in there still. I mean, sometimes you get
that adds
just the
to
top
it as
comes
well.
out. Yeah, it was like a full body breach. It was just pretty special. And like nailing the focus, nailing the framing was hard. But yeah, it was. I remember I was floating around this little Zodiac, which is like a little boat, little rib that we use for operations. And I just photographed it. You know, the whale was breaching a few times, and I'd gotten the shot, and I knew that I'd gotten it right. Like I knew I'd nailed it, but I was too scared to look in my camera. You know, I had
if it was out of focus or something.
Yeah, you know, it was like that moment where like I'd done it, and it was like in my head, I knew I got it, I nailed it, but I was like, do I want to look? You know, like
I'll find something wrong with it.
Like I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, breathe. I'm having a little look. So I popped open the back of my screen, and it was like pin sharp. Oh man, the feeling, unbelievable. Like,
if you guys enjoyed that clip, please do me a huge favor before you go and head over to our Into the Mind podcast official page where we have the raw, uncut Into the Mind podcast, and hit that subscribe button. And the more subscribers we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the show. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all real soon.